Hello fellow Star Wars fans, my name is Star Raptor. Welcome back to the channel. I'm so happy you decided to stop by the channel today to learn about this week's Star Wars comics for August 7th, 2024. We have a whopping 3 comics to talk about this, guys. That's a big deal because first time in a while we've had more than one. We're getting 3 this week, and guess how many we're getting next week? Just a single issue. Gotta love Marvel, gotta love Dark Horse. But getting into, we're gonna start with Dark Horse actually, and that is the High Republic Adventures, issue number 8. This one, of course, is written by DJO, Daniel Jose Older, and Harvey Talabal, the dynamic duo that started it all for the High Republic Adventures. This one is called The Evacuation Run Part 2. And last we left off, we have turmoil in the near occlusion zone. We're in Iriadu, which is the home planet of the Tarkins, mind you. And you have all of our heroes plummeting to the surface in their big ship as they're trying to evacuate. We have Qort, we have Farzala, we have Lula, we have Zeen. All these characters, even Zint, who is a female Aloxian, the same species as Qort, with their cool little scarab-looking bone helmet thing. They're plummeting to the surface, so it's all about this side of the story, them getting to safety. They are plummeting the escape pods. If they let them go, you know, the Nihil are going to destroy those escape pods. So Farzala and Qort have this brilliant plan to go outside the ship and hijack one of the Nihil ships in midair. They manage to do that, and then they're managed to get the other people to safety by having them jump on their ship. So that is the whole storyline there. They get down to the ground, and as we've seen this telegraphed in a previous issue or two, we have Zeen and Lula madly in love, and they decide to madly get married, or at least propose to one another during this battle. And this really cool thing happens with this organic like bracelet that they both got from the Tarkins that kind of, you know, symbolizes that togetherness, that union between the two. So I thought that was really cool. But that is right before they realize that, oh my gosh, Iriadu is now part of the occlusion zone. Marchion Row has expanded the border of the occlusion zone further. The storm wall has increased past Iriadu, so they are now all in the occlusion zone. That is not the only thing we learned from this issue, because as this is going off, we are crossing back and forth between the Crix Camerat story, and that has him, you know, behind enemy lines on this giant ship, the headquarters of the Nihil. And yeah, they're on this. He's on this ship, and he has a person he's corresponding to. I thought it was really cool. It's this little Doug, and his name is Crankflat. This little Doug, and you have basically this guy helping him get to where he needs to go. And they run into Arathab from Trail of Shadows miniseries from Marvel, and they run into the one character, Thera Farr, who has been in a lot of the Marchion Roast stories. His like little secretary, basically, without a better term for it. But basically, Crix Camerat realizes that, oh, there's a generator to destroy said ship. So there you have it. That is basically what happens in High Republic Adventures. It kind of cut back and forth too much for my liking. It really just didn't sit well with me, the amount of, and I feel like some of the artwork of them hijacking the ship didn't seem clear enough for me. I feel like the action was a little bit too wonky for me to follow sometimes. That's my one negative out of that. But getting into another High Republic story, we're shifting things over to Marvel. This is the High Republic issue number 10. This one is The Hunted, chapter 8 or chapter 6, Jedi Lost and Found. And this is written by Cavan Scott, with artwork by Jim Toe, and this is the final issue of this run of the High Republic. We're getting more, and I'll get to that in a minute. But as far as this story, we know we are on the rescue for Skeer. We have everybody from Sarat to, what's his name, Tay Sarek as well. And we have Keeve Trennis and Orbelin. They tracked basically Skeer. There's a tracking beacon that they think was because of Skeer put it on there. But we find out that Lorna D and Tarek are in fact alive, and it was because of them that they put the tracker there. And Skeer did go with Boolan, which is the big architect of all these crazy Nihil experiments, or these crazy nameless experiments. He went with him willingly, because apparently this doctor might be able to bring the Force back to the Trandoshan Skeer, because Trandoshans have a rare oddity disease where they have the Margrak syndrome, where they lose the ability to use the Force. So it's really interesting seeing how that is playing out, because we have this drama built up between Keeve and with Skeer, where it's like Boolan's in between and saying, hey, do you want to help me and get the Force, or do you want to help them and never find that answer again because I'll be dead? So we have this really cool Star Wars-y moment where it's like that epic decision of who do you choose, that decision, right? So, and it all comes down to Skeer, and he decides to save the one he loves. And as far as loving, not like, that kind of love, but just like a familial bond of his former Padawan. And then he's able to put on the headpiece and actually use the Nihil, control the Nihil with Boolan's headpiece, and they end up capturing him in the end. So really cool stuff there. We get the conclusion of that story. But it is not the end, because we do know that we're going to get the High Republic Fear of the Jedi, which I think starts in February. But we're also getting Tempest Breaker, which is a drama, an audio drama that's going to be out in December, which also talks about Keeve Trennis and maybe Avar Chris, if I'm not mistaken. Lorna D, I think, is in that one. So, like, basically, by the end of the story, there were a couple deaths, but we did find out that Tarek and Sarek are able to separate their bonds, which is interesting because they are Force-bonded twins, but now they are basically acting independent, which is a very interesting thing there. I do feel like overall with this run of 10 issues, I'm not quite sure that the reasoning behind it, if I'm being honest. It just seems like a bunch of adventures. I don't feel like there's enough impact as there was for, let's say, the High Republic's first run in Phase 1 with Keeve, or even with Phase 2 stuff with Tesseric. I don't know if there was a lot of impact there, but it was an enjoyable ride, great artwork throughout, some good moments, but in looking back in time, I don't know if I'm really going to, love this as much as the other ones, but that is that. Something I am very much loving, though, another one from Marvel, is Inquisitor #1. This is written by Rodney Barnes with artwork by Ramon Rosanas. This one is Death Be Not Still. And I like the premise behind where this story is going, because this is called Inquisitors. We're getting great snapshots at the abilities and the skills of each Inquisitor. The first one really centered on the Grand Inquisitor going after Tensu Run, and Tensu Run is able to outsmart him, able to get away. And now it's the fifth brother's turn. Yes, from Obi-Wan, from Rebels, we get the fifth brother that is going through and really being able to get into the reasoning why he's the fifth brother is a brute, and we see him brutalizing that kind of pathway, going through not the most intelligent Inquisitor. This guy is that blunt weapon that's going to go through and just take you out. So it's really cool to see that. We also see him have a Viper probe droid, which Vader's giving him orders and different things like that. So it was nice to see that happening as well. Because we didn't see the probe droid before. But otherwise, it was interesting. We get to see a lot from Tensu Run. We get to see a flashback with him and his master, and about Tensu Run's telling him, or his master's telling Tensu Run, like, hey, look, you're seeming a bit aggressive about this revenge path, and that leads to the dark side. And we even see Tensu Run not being a white knight as we thought he, at least what I thought he could have been in the first issue. We actually see him getting beset upon by some pirates, and he just straight out of cold blood just kills some of these pirates, leaves one alive. But it's very, very violent, and it's not something that I'm used to seeing, or we're even used to seeing for a Jedi to do. But by the end of it, Tensu Run literally calls out the fifth brother. Like, he wants him. He's tired of hiding. Tensu Run's tired of hiding. He wants to take down the oppressive forces of the Empire. And so, yes, that's what he does. He ends up severing an arm of the fifth brother and leaves that as a message to tell his other Inquisitor brothers that he's out there still. So this guy, he's awesome. I'm really liking the character of Tensu Run, because this guy's got guts to him. He's got something to stand for. He's not easily dispatched, as we've seen the Grand Inquisitor's not able to handle him. It looks like Fifth Brother couldn't, and it looks like next week, or next month at least, issue #3, it looks like we're going to have Ninth Sister and the Seventh Sister, so very much looking forward to that one. But another great entry in the Inquisitor series. But that's going to do it for me, Star. Thank you so much for watching. I have plenty of new content on the channel. I have my wrap-up of Star Wars at San Diego Comic-Con. I have a vlog of California up there. I have just a blog or vlog of San Diego Comic-Con in general, so make sure you go ahead. I even have a Bounty Hunters Remaster review on the channel, so there's a lot of video content I put up there as I got back from vacation, so appreciate if you guys would check that out. Comment on here, what was your favorite comic that came out this week? What comic are you looking forward to? Let me know in the comment section down below. For more, make sure you tune in, subscribe to the channel here. Thank you so much for watching, and may the Force be with you always. Thanks for checking out the video. Please hit that thumbs up symbol. It helps me know that I'm making content that you guys enjoy. And if you enjoyed this video, I also include 2 videos down below you guys should check out. And please consider subscribing to this channel. It helps support me, and it notifies you guys of when I get new videos up on the channel. You can also contact me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at StarRaptor.